Hi peeps, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I'm Runzi. I'm an artist, but apart from sharing my creative journey, I usually enjoy talking about mental hygiene and personal development related topics. You can find me on Spotify as well, and all my social media links are available at the description box down below. Besides that, I do a bunch of other stuff here, so if you are interested in all this, you're on the right channel. So yeah guys, for today's video, I want to talk about how to deal with your emotions. And for today's video, it's going to be a little bit different. I am going to use my favorite manga, which is Nana. If you guys had never checked that out, never heard of it, I highly recommend you to read it. It's such a good comic. Manga means comic in Japanese. It's a really good manga. And I love Yazawa's art style so much. So if you guys are into art, highly recommend you check it out. The fashion, the aesthetics and everything, it's just so pretty. But what's more important is the storyline is just so good. And I felt like this manga, when I read it during my teenage years versus me revisiting it now in my 20s, I have a very different perspective and point of view when it comes to the characters. Especially the two Nanas in the manga. There are two girls with the same name, which are Nana Komatsu and Nana Osaki. Well, just based on their appearance themselves, you can tell that they definitely have very huge personality differences. And I remember when I was younger, during my teenage years, I really disliked Nana Komatsu, which is the girly one. And I have a lot of fascination for Nana Osaki. She has this really grungy style going on, and her personality is just so strong. She has a lot of masculine energy in her. So before I jump into the manga, I just want to talk about this a little bit because I do understand that Nana is a manga which is targeted towards female audience, and I know that some of you guys watching here are male audience, and I do highly recommend you to check the manga out as well because it's just really good. But what I realized is this is not me being sexist, but according to data, they found that the suicide rate for male is way more higher compared to female. And what I realized is guys tend to grow up in a very toxic masculine environment, although that's not for everyone, but you gotta understand that a lot of family actually raise their children in a very toxic masculinity kind of way. You think about it, if you're a little boy and you cry, your parents are most likely going to tell you to not cry because boys don't cry, right? You probably have heard of this if you are a boy, if you come from a more traditional background. And if you're a female, if you're a girl, and if you cry, most likely people are not going to tell you to not cry because you are a girl, right? Usually people will say crying are for girls, don't be weak. And what's going to happen is in a long run, you will try to shut down your emotions, you will try to numb yourself, and you will try to hide everything in yourself. You're not allowed to feel, especially for males. You're not allowed to feel. You will think that people are going to judge you. People are going to think that you are weak for showing emotions because men don't show emotions, And what's going to happen when something that's not within your control happen, when shit happens around you, you're not going to know how to deal with it. And eventually, sadly, a lot of people end up taking their own lives. And that's what happens when you don't know how to deal with your emotions. And I think it's extremely sad because there's nothing wrong having emotions. There's nothing wrong feeling sad, feeling bad, and feeling negative. There's nothing wrong with that. What is wrong is how you react upon them. If you are angry, if you're sad, if you're frustrated, and you lash out at someone else, that is wrong. So I feel like a lot of people say never show your emotions. What they mean is it's not to hide your emotions. You are allowed to feel. It's just that how you want to control and manipulate your emotions. So in today's video, I'm going to tell you how you can handle your emotions, how you can master your emotions, and how you can deal with your emotions in a very stoic way. But at the same time, I'm going to incorporate my favorite manga to use them as an example so that you can understand things a little bit more better. And of course, because I love the manga a lot, I just really want to share them with you guys. When I was younger, I remember I loved Nana Osaki so much because I thought that she has a really strong persona. She is cool. She hardly show any emotions. I mean, she does, but she hardly show any negative emotions. She's always career driven. She is just so strong. She's just who I aspire to be when I was younger. Whereas Nana Komatsu, she's more soft. She's a soft girl, she's cute, and she just wants to be this happy wife. She just wants to get married, and she has very simple goals, life goals and dreams. But she always encounter a lot of issues. Same goes to both of them, right? What I came to realize when I revisited the manga is I realized that Nana Komatsu is actually way stronger compared to Nana Osaki. In the beginning, Nana Komatsu may seem like she is a very weak girl. She may seem like a very shallow person who doesn't know how to deal with real life issues, who pretty much think that she lives in a fantasy land where, men will just appreciate her the way she is and all that. Yeah, she is this really, really naive girl. For some reason, they have very different personalities, but they come along so well as best friends. And if you read the manga, you will realize that the character development for Nana Komatsu is actually way more compared to Nana Osaki. Nana Osaki, she is this girl who builds up a wall around her. She's constantly trying to hide her emotions. She's constantly trying to act so strong to the point that in the end, things exploded. She just went missing. Of course, I'm gonna drop some spoilers here, and I'm not gonna go into too much detail, but spoiler alert, okay? I have to still talk about the story a little bit here and there, but you guys have to check it out. The art is just so good. So Nana Osaki, when she was a little child, she was a little girl, her mom actually left her. Her mom left her and she was raised by her grandma. And when she was older, during her teenage years, the love of her life, her boyfriend Ren, left her hometown to pursue his dreams, to pursue his career as a famous guitarist. He wants to be in a famous band in Japan, so he left his hometown for Tokyo, and he is more than willing to bring her along to Tokyo to just keep their relationship, because they are this epitome of relationship goals kind of couple. But you can tell that Nana, deep down, she has so much love for Ren, but at the same time, she doesn't want to face her emotions. She feels like if she follows Ren along to Tokyo, what's going to become of her? She doesn't want to be that housewife. She doesn't just want to be an average person to, be someone who's just sitting at home waiting for her boyfriend or her husband to come back from his whatever career that he's working on. She doesn't want to be that person. She doesn't want to stay on the same spot, waiting for him, because she has her own dreams as well. But what I realized is deep down, actually she really, really, really loves Ren and she really wants to be around him. It's just that she doesn't allow herself to feel, she doesn't allow herself to deal with things in a healthy way. So she constantly uses her own work, which is her music, her career, she's an artist, she's a singer, so she's constantly using her career to numb her emotions out. She has a lot of past trauma, she has a lot of emotional baggage, but she never even once actually allow herself to come face to face with her emotions. She never allow herself to deal with it. She just pretty much suck everything up and try to suppress them. And what people say about emotions is emotions, you can never actually bury them. You can try to hide them, you can try to quiet them, but they're gonna creep back up. And trust me, I had personally encountered issues like that. I had seen people around me going through things like that. This is the reason why people end up taking their own lives. It's because you had been trying to numb yourself with external things, addiction, let it be drugs, work, food, whatever it is, you try to use external things to numb out your emotions. You don't allow yourself to feel, and eventually it's going to fester in a very ugly way. Just think of your emotional baggage as a wound. Can you imagine if you have something stuck in your wound, like you fell down and some stones or whatever splinters stuck in your wound, and you don't actually pull it out and you just let it sit there, you just let it fester. Eventually it's going to be worse, and who knows, even if a surgery can't actually help you anymore, you probably have to chop off your entire hand. And the same comes to your mind. Why would you put so much emphasis on your external health, but you wouldn't want to tune into your mental health and keep your mental hygiene clean? Why wouldn't you want to do that? Why do you don't think that you deserve to have that sort of privilege, that sort of self-worth to actually clean up whatever that's in your mind? So as the story goes on, Nana Komatsu, she actually did a lot of like really dumb things. She pretty much latched herself onto any guys that treat her nicely, and she did a lot of mistakes in that. You can see that she is very simple-minded in the beginning. But as time goes on, she's not afraid to constantly fall down and face her emotions. She's not afraid to talk about her mistakes. She's not afraid to let things out and live a very authentic life. She is not ashamed to be who she wants to be. Even people around her, telling her that she is lame, she is weak for wanting to be, a wife and all that. But she is not afraid to stand on her goals. She even thought that she wants to date her idol basis, the one of the group Trapness in the manga. She has a huge crush on this celebrity, and eventually he became her husband. But that guy has a lot of issues on his own. He's the epitome of a fuckboy. But yeah, she eventually know that she can achieve what she wants. So she's not afraid to stand on her own ground, despite what everyone else around her told her. While Nana Osaki, she's constantly trying to hide away from what she actually wants. It's very easy to see that what she wants is actually love and acceptance. She had abandonment issues, and her boyfriend, left her hometown and all that. Eventually, they managed to reunite, and they eventually got engaged, and eventually an accident happened. And what happens next? Because she wanted that love so much and everything, she pretty much hold everything within. She's afraid to come face to face with her own emotions. She's afraid to feel. And the moment, things happen, when it's too late, her world just crashed. And I do understand that a lot of people say that you shouldn't show any emotions and all that because it allows people to manipulate you. It seems like you are weak and all that. Trust me, if you try to hide your emotions, it's way more easier for people to sniff it out. If you're constantly trying to act like you don't have any emotions, and you're trying to act all strong and all that, it's really easy for people to tell that you are actually a very, very, sad person with a lot of emotional baggage in you. It's easy to sniff it out, especially when you're dealing with issues. It's easy to tell. Someone who's not afraid to express their emotions, to feel things, is way stronger because they actually flush things out constantly. It's just like if you are having a stomach ache and you try to, hold your stomach and you don't go to the washroom. I know this is graphic, but you try to hide everything out. Eventually, what's gonna happen? you get what I mean, right? You know what's gonna happen next. So yeah. So for a very, very long time, I tried to hide my emotions and all that. Just like Nana Osaki, I can totally relate with her. I have a lot of things that I actually want, but I feel like in this day and age, if I actually talk about it, people are gonna think that I am lame, I'm weak, for having all these dreams and goals and everything. But when I came to be honest with myself, I sit down with myself and allow myself to feel, if I want to cry, I cry. If I want to laugh, I laugh, even when I'm all alone. If you need a therapist, go look for one. But what's more important is when you are all alone, you are willing to express yourself. You are not ashamed to deal with it. It's not making you weak. It's not, it's making you stronger. Because the moment you can cope with your emotions, the moment you can feel and you can control it, is when you're stronger. You are only weak if you try to suppress it. The other day I was having a conversation with my brother. My brother is a psychologist. So I feel really comfortable to just talk to him very directly about a lot of things. So the other day I was talking about him, about emotions, and he told me this, which made so much sense. He was like, people who are afraid to come face to face with their own emotions are the weaker ones. Because they won't even allow themselves to encounter their own demons. They won't even allow themselves to feel because they're afraid that others will judge them. They are afraid that others will think they are weak because they know they are weak. They're hiding something, So if you come face to it, you can actually tell yourself that, oh, okay, I'm feeling this way. So what can I do about it? And the moment you know and you admit it, you admit your shadow self, you admit your emotions, is the moment you can actually conquer it. So if you're sad, you know that you're sad, and you tell yourself that, okay, I'm feeling this way right now, what can I do next? Instead of trying to act like, okay, I'm sad, but no, I'm not sad, let's keep looking for some sort of distraction, let's numb myself out. Because eventually it's going to explode. That mask is not going to last long. It's not going to last long, seriously. If it's going to last long, if it's going to last forever, then why do people commit suicide? Why do people go through issues? You might think that that day is not going to happen to you because you're all strong, you are like rock solid and all that. Understand that your soul will get tired if you don't listen to it. Listen to your soul. That does not mean you have to give up on your dreams and goals and everything. No, nothing to do. It's a completely different thing. Emotions are a different thing, and they're not a bad thing. They are just something that's within you, and that's it. Don't put too much emphasis on them. Allow them to come, allow them to go. If you look at these two characters, one of them is not afraid to show any emotions. They're not afraid to show that they are human. They make mistakes, but they learn every single time. It's like how I always say, you gotta flush your emotions out. And this Nana Osaki, you can see that she's constantly hiding her emotions. And what happened in the end? She exploded. She just went missing. She gave up her career and everything because I believe that things got too painful for her. The manga is on hiatus, but I do believe that because you had been so strong for so long, and it seems like there's nothing and no one you can lean on because you are afraid to you're afraid to come face to face with yourself. You are afraid to face your inner demons. You are afraid to face whatever emotions that you have, all the past traumas and everything. They're unresolved. They're all inside you. It seems like everyone is trying so hard to show that they are strong. They don't need any support. They don't need anyone to lean on. I do understand, I do admit that I am someone that's like that. I do admit that I am guilty of that. I do talk to my friends. It's just that I don't like the feeling where I feel vulnerable. I don't like the feeling that I am weak and not capable. But it does not make you weak. It's not like you want attention from people. It's not that. It's just that you come face to face with yourself. It's just like looking in a mirror and tell yourself that I know that I feel this way, and I know this is not a pleasant feeling. I know that people have been rolling me over. I know that I have a lot of unresolved issues going on, but I forgive myself and I accept myself. Because if you try to numb things, you bury them, all these things are not dead. They're not dead because they're constantly in the back of your mind. You can try to act like nothing happened. Trust me, 10 years down the road, it's going to come back tenfold. It happened to me personally. It happened to a lot of people, even like famous celebrities and all that. You see, constantly like Hollywood actors and actresses spiraling into their mental issues and all that. Because I feel like a lot of us try to use something else to numb, whether it's drug, work, whatever addiction that you have, you constantly try to numb it because you don't know how to deal with your emotions. And for me, for a very long time, it used to be food. You guys know that eating disorder, it's not because especially with binge eating or bulimia, it's not because we love the food. Of course we do love food, but what I mean is not because we want to be a glutton. It's not because we want to show off all the food within ourselves. It's not that. It's because we don't know how to deal with our emotions. We don't know how to express ourselves. You feel like something is missing there, but at the same time, you just don't know how to fill in the void. And when you don't fill in the void with a healthy way, you don't try to flush things out, the void is like, you feel like there's a void within. You feel like there is an empty spot within. But at the same time, it seems like something is really congested in here, not just your heart, your mind, and whatever it is. And you don't know how to get rid of it. You don't know how to fill the void, and you don't know how to get rid of all that very, very, emotional constipation that you have. You don't know how to flush it out. And you just turn to something else to distract yourself, to numb yourself. Because like if you have some sort of addiction, let it be food or drugs, what those addictions do is they release endorphins, they release all this temporary high for you so that you feel good for that temporary moment. And after that, it's going to get worse, and you're going to look for more stimulants, you're going to look for more drugs, more food, and it's going to ruin your health, not just your mental health, but your entire physical health and everything. It's going to go downward. And if you're someone who's addicted to work, which is cool, I do like the whole hustle work culture. I know a lot of people are against that, but if you're someone who has a lot of, passion in the things that you want to do it. It's just that if you are not using it in a healthy way, if you are just using work to numb yourself out, eventually you're gonna snap. I had seen people like that, in real life, and it's sad because why would you want to ruin yourself? It seems like you don't value yourself enough. It seems like you don't appreciate you the way you are. It seems like you want to distract yourself because you don't allow yourself to feel. You are a soul, you don't have a soul, you are a soul. Elon Musk recently tweeted that. I don't know what he's trying to say, but what I mean, it's true. I kind of agree with that. You are a being, you are a soul. Listen to it for once. It's tired of dealing with your bullshit, all the external bullshit that you're giving to yourself. So now that I had said so many things about the manga, I want to let you guys know that there are some ways that you can actually cope with your emotions in a way more healthier way. Because I do believe that it is not a right thing to allow your emotions to control you. Nothing good is ever going to come out of it, especially if you're in a very, very negative hate space. So what can you do is, of course, the one that I always preach, journaling. Journaling definitely helps a lot because you can be super honest with yourself. You can just even if you feel super angry and super resentful towards something, you can be very honest with yourself. You allow your shadow self to unleash itself on your journal. And after you write it, that's it, you allow yourself to feel, and you will feel way better after you do that. Trust me. Although you will not feel like your issues are solved or anything, but you will feel better. You will feel better because you allow yourself to be real, you allow yourself to be genuine, and you allow yourself to face your emotions authentically. And if you guys need some tips on how to start a journal and all that, I am more than willing to share with you guys, because there's just not one way to go about things. I do understand that a lot of people say journaling means you write things out. You can actually paint and draw, and you can even create videos, podcasts and everything to keep track of your journey. And the next thing you can do is obviously talk to someone that you feel like you can talk to. If you don't have any friends, and I do understand there are people who don't really have any friends. I sometimes feel that way as well, although I do have people that I really, really appreciate in my life. But understand that your friends have their own issues as well, so you might not want to bug them a little bit too much. This is the hard reality, right? You can't always expect people to be there for you. So if you feel like you can't really talk to your friends and you don't have the budget for therapy, what you can do is, this is gonna sound weird, you can talk to yourself. Seriously, I know this is gonna sound very, very weird, but if you feel like it's very uncomfortable and all that, just do it when nobody's around. You can talk to yourself in the mirror, you can record your own voice, and when you feel better, you listen to it again, and you can analyze, your issues, why do I feel that way at that time? If you're looking in the mirror, tell yourself that, okay, right now, I don't feel like I like myself, but I allow myself to feel this way. But I do believe that this is not my end goal. This is not how my whole life is going to be. I allow myself the permission to keep improving and to be a better version of myself. You have to want it, you have to want it. Because if you allow the emotions to come out, but you don't want to look for any solutions to overcome it, then it's pretty much the same as numbing your emotions. There's no difference there. Both of them are equally unhealthy. So you have to look for ways to improve yourself, even if it's just a teeny bit, Look for ways to improve yourself, to make yourself like yourself a little bit more, not anyone else around you, If you feel like you're heartbroken, the person that you like rejected you, or you feel like you're just unlovable, understand that you have to first value yourself. You have to first allow yourself to feel whatever it is. If you feel like you have this very strong emotion towards someone, feel it. Nothing is wrong. Nobody is there to stop you from feeling what you're feeling. You feel it, but you don't have to act upon it. If people reject you, why would you keep going back to them like a beggar? Don't do that. Value yourself more. If you look at Nana, the manga, Nana Komatsu, she don't settle for less. When people treat her like crap, when her ex-boyfriend treated her like crap, she allowed herself to feel, she rants, she cried, she talked to people around her and all that. But eventually, she come back, she told herself that, okay, this person screwed me over, this person, it's not worth my time, I am going to work on myself, I'm going to pamper myself, I'm going to be a better version of myself, so that I can set higher goals for myself and I can attract better relationships into my life. She is that sort of girl, that's why right now, when I'm older, when I revisited the manga, I do have a lot of love for her because I feel like she is actually what I aspire to be. I want to be someone who can actually deal with my own emotions and overcome it and be stronger than who I was yesterday. Instead of, constantly trying to act like I have no emotions, which is Nana Osaki. She's weak because she doesn't allow herself to feel. She's always stuck in this old cycle. She's always stuck in this old narrative where it seems like to her nothing is going to get better. Her career is growing. Her career, her life is getting better. She is making it big. But it felt like to her in the story, it felt like she is always stagnant. Feeling like people are going to leave her. She has to constantly push people out of her life because she don't deserve the love. And that's really sad. That's extremely tragic because you don't allow yourself the permission to first accept yourself. You don't allow yourself to feel. And the next thing you can do, this one is definitely my favorite, is to consume contents that can help you grow. To remind yourself of your goals, of your life purpose. Even if you think you don't have a purpose, trust me, you have. You have a responsibility to deal with. Don't be that selfish if you think about it. If you think that your life don't matter anymore, it does, it matters. Life is like a ripple effect, it's like a domino effect. If you pull yourself out of it, it's going to affect things around you. Don't view yourself as this useless petty person, because as useless as you think you want to be, you do have life responsibilities, and your responsibilities might be different from others. You don't have to compete with others. You don't have to compare with others. You are yourself. You are not someone else. I have a lot of admiration for people like BTS, especially Yoongi Suga. He's this really hardworking composer. I love him so much, but his life purpose is different from mine. I love his work ethics, but he is a composer. I am an artist. I am a person who likes sharing my message, to guide others through whatever that they're dealing with. We are different in a way, so why would I compare his success with my progress? He is like a really, really admirable role model for me, so I'm using him as an example here. So don't look at others, don't look at what others have. Tune into yourself and consume only contents that help you improve. Don't constantly look at negative posts on social media or whatever media or wherever that you are. Don't constantly revisit those, because I feel like the moment you allow those negativity to creep into your mind, they will sort of awaken your whatever past trauma that you have. They will start to relieve them. Not that there's anything wrong with it, because I think that the cognitive behavior therapy, something along the line of that, to relieve your past trauma, to make you stronger, to sort of shock you out of the past trauma. I think that's good as well. It's just that you don't want to be addicted to the pain. Because I was a person who was very addicted to pain. Whenever my life is super calm, I feel like I always need to find for something to make me feel unhappy. I always need to find fault with people around me. I always need to find unnecessary issues, to deal with. And all those issues, they're not even real life issues. They're just things that are going on in my head. And they're just fantasy scenarios going on. But not good ones, bad ones. So you don't want to do that. You want to replace those with healthy messages. If there are some positive podcasts that you like to listen to them. If there are some videos that lift up your mood, watch those, things that can help you grow instead of constantly consuming on really negative content. Back then I used to like to look at all the, relatable memes and depressive memes and all that. But right now, I pretty much don't want to look at those anymore, because I feel like they're so draining. When you look at them, in a way, it sort of tell you that, okay, this is how my life is going to be. It's relatable. I am going to be in this negative headspace forever. I'm not going to get better anymore. No, you don't want that. You want to constantly improve, so feed yourself with good vibes. Not toxic positivity, but good vibes, Toxic positivity basically means that you have to be positive 24/7. That's just crazy, That don't exist, trust me. Same goes to any other emotions. positive emotions and negative emotions, they all come and go. So you have to like sort of like allow everything to come and go. But what you can feed yourself, just like the food that you eat, you can always choose to consume healthy things, you know. I personally am very, very into Jordan Peterson's podcast and his videos, his lectures on YouTube channel, because he's just super real. He's super, the facts that he said, you know, the things that he teach in his lectures, I feel like they're just so real, and it reminds you that you're not living in this fantasy world and you can get better. He don't feed you with things that are like super superficial, you know. It kind of reminds you that you're living in the real world, and the real world is harsh, but you can always work yourself to be a better version of yourself instead of competing with others, if you get what I mean. And I also really encourage you to tune into more of stoicism contents, you know. Although a lot of people pretty much misunderstood the whole concept of being a stoic, it doesn't mean that you have no emotions. It doesn't mean that you have to numb your emotions. It does not mean that you're not allowed to cry and feel bad. It's just that how you actually conquer your emotions and how you deal with things around you. I'm gonna talk about that if you guys are interested in future videos, but for today's video, this is just what I want to share with you guys. You know, if you look at people around you who constantly try to act like they're all strong, you know, they put a wall around them like Nana Osaki, understand that they might be really hurt people, you know, they might have a lot of issues within them. So no matter how strong of a person, you know, when you look at someone else is, understand that we are all humans. We all have our own issues to deal with. Never treat someone in a way that you think that you know everything about them just because they put up that persona in front of you. And same goes to yourself. The most important one is yourself. Allow yourself to feel. Allow yourself to be your own parent, to give yourself the love that you need, the validation that you need, and the emotional stability that you need. So this is how, you know, I feel like the manga actually taught me a lot of things. And who knows, 10 years down the road, when I revisit Nana again, I might have like a very different point of view for the whole story. And I feel like every single character in the manga, you know, have very, very strong characteristics that are like us, you know. They have like the epitome of a fuckboy, which is Takumi, and they have this really ambitious boy, Ren, and all that, you know. Everyone have their own issues and everything, and when you read the manga, it's just so good. It's so relatable, although it's pretty much exaggerated. It's just really good. I have no words for it. If you guys are interested, please check the manga out. It's so damn good. Although they are fiction, they are just like comics, but you can actually learn a lot of things from fictional stories if you look at things in a different way, if you look at things from a different perspective. So if you guys are, you know, interested for more stories like that on dissecting mangas, on how we can learn from each and every characters from different mangas, please feel free to let me know at the comment section down below. I will always get back to your comments. And same goes to every single video. If you have any questions and any topics that you wish to discuss, you can let me know as well at the comment section down below. And you can find me on all social media platforms at Runzi Art. All the links are available in the description box down below. So yeah guys, that's it from me for today, and I really hope you enjoy watching this video. I really hope you can learn something out of this. I will talk to you in my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye! Wish 'em well.